Right now, we are heading deeper into Q2 of 2025, and it's been a crazy year. And the crazy year thing is that nobody seems to have a damn clue on how the rest of the year is going to play out. All of our models have been thrown out by this tariff war. It was supposed to be the mega bull run, Q1 bullish, baby. No, we got screwed. Trump got elected. We pumped to the historic 100K mark. We pumped to $109,000 at inauguration, yet suddenly it's all up in the air amid political chaos, tariff wars, trade wars. It's all going to shit, man. So today I'm going to lay out the 3 most plausible future scenarios for what could happen in 2025, and you can let me know which of them is the most likely for you. So first, scenario 1. This is my base case, by the way. The bull market's back on. It just needs a few pieces to fall into place. First, we need inflation to keep falling, something that's already started and is definitely trending in the right direction. Then, of course, we got the seemingly endless tariff bullshit, except it's not actually endless. The market's overly fearful of it all. As soon as we see countries making deals, markets will adjust, not forgetting that deals, whether or not they're actually worth all this hassle, are what Trump is all about. So EU, Japan, Mexico, Canada, those will come soon. And yeah, China's probably going to take a bit longer to find some kind of resolution that works for everybody, but both of them need the deal. Markets can price all that in as soon as it looks like there's going to be a exit path to all this madness. The next part of the puzzle is the Fed ending QT and cutting rates in probably June. We all hope for May, but it's probably going to come in June. And an end to the recession fears as the U.S. economy starts to bounce back as the fears, the apparent Armageddon subsides and the worst of the tariff chaos left behind us. If we also get some stability in relations with Iran and who knows, maybe even a peace deal in Ukraine, that's all good. Combined with increases in liquidity as global M2 pumps, ECB and other central banks keep cutting interest rates, then we're primed for some real bull market action. And that could plausibly mean Bitcoin running to 150K in June, cooling off July to September during the summer malaise, launching into a final rally around the 250K mark toward the end of the year, or maybe into Q1 or Q2 even of 2026. You might then get Solana to $1,000, ETH breaking its old all-time high, but probably still relatively underperforming the market comparatively, and you'll get all kinds of mania going on around meme coins, no doubt some surprise runners popping off from other sectors too, like real-world assets. That's the optimistic case, and I'm the optimist. I'm the permabull here, so take that with a grain of salt, but I think that's a reasonable path forward. Now, scenario 2, also pretty probable, not as exciting, the middle path. Everybody hates the damn middle path. Choose a path, man. This is where we see trade deals getting cut, and even with China relations improving and negotiations working out, but it's not quick enough, and by the time the dust has settled, the damage has already been done, both economically and for the U.S. reputationally, for a while at least. So although a recession is avoided, or maybe we get a very, very slight recession, growth does slow significantly, and the Fed does end QT, but doesn't offer any rate cuts due to tariff-related inflation fears, that inflation, in fact, starting to creep back up later this year. Maybe not too badly, but creeping up nevertheless, enough to keep the Fed from cutting rates. At the same time, global M2 expands, but peaks much earlier than we'd like it to if we're looking for, full-blown, crazy end-of-the-year blow-off 250K top bull market stuff. In the meantime, the housing market continues to look shaky. Things start breaking more so there. In this kind of scenario, stocks have an underwhelming year, but don't drop really much lower than they are right now. Bitcoin gets a final beautiful rally between now and June to make some kind of like a triple top around $110,000, maybe a new all-time high at like $120,000, but this would be the last exit rally as Bitcoin would then range for the rest of the year with support around sort of $70,000 to $80,000 where we've been at recently. As for altcoins, most wouldn't get near their previous all-time highs, despite various incoming ETFs, because ETF inflows are going to be absolute dog shit because nobody wants to take risk. The stock market's not good. ETFs for altcoins are definitely not going to do good, especially with the market getting flooded with continual token unlocks for all these damn coins. This also means the 4-year cycle for Bitcoin essentially breaks, and Bitcoin could then set new all-time highs, maybe at the end of 2026, possibly heading towards the 250K mark in better market conditions next year. Finally, there's the dark side. Don't go to the dark side, Luke. If you're serious about crypto trading, you need a platform that's built for performance. That's exactly what Crypto.com exchange delivers. 140 million users, 90 countries. It's the most licensed and globally trusted cryptocurrency exchange out there. You can trade Bitcoin and literally hundreds of other assets with speed, security, and precision. So whether you're using spot trading, automated bots like the DCA bot or the grid bot, or plugging into the robust API platform, Crypto.com has got you covered, man. They're built to scale scale with you. Plus, their VIP program gives you access to exclusive fee discounts, which if you're a serious trader, you know how fast that can add up. So if you're ready to level up your trading, then hit the link in the description and you can start trading over on the crypto.com exchange today. Now let's talk about scenario 3, Goblin Town, the worst place to go. This is the apocalyptic version of reality, so strap in. Goblin Town is basically a place no one wants to visit. Goblins suck. They steal your girlfriend, drink all your beer, sleep on your couch. You'll be aware we were there in 2022. It's a bad place to be. Crypto went into a meltdown, FTX collapsed, lending platforms collapsed, absolute shit show. A lot of damage was done. This time it could be even worse. Possible nightmare timeline starts with the tariff war basically dragging on for all of 2025 and basically deepening as neither China nor the US back down. In fact, they keep ramping up tensions with more tit-for-tat exchanges. China accepting basically economic Armageddon as long as they take America down with them. That means recessions in the USA, recessions in China, and basically a global recession, potentially a global depression. The US housing market absolutely craters as rates stay high and demand completely dries up. Stocks crash by at least another 20% amid supply chain chaos, falling profits, bankruptcy contagion spreads. While this is unfolding, Trump is at the center of a wildly fractious political unrest, but finds a way somehow to get the Supreme Court to back him, firing Jerome Powell, causing a black swan event to hit markets with a massive confidence crisis in the US dollar. May we see even rate hikes return. Soaring unemployment is exacerbated by advances in AI, which is taking over white-collar jobs at a time when every company needs to save money. And plus, there's further armed conflict as China decides to try and take Taiwan. The U.S. initiates a war with Iran, shutting down the Straits of Hormuz and totally effing up global oil markets at the worst possible damn time, sending inflation soaring again. As for Bitcoin, the U.S. clarifies that while it may be holding on to the coins it already has, it's not going to be buying any more. And although altcoin ETFs launched, there's basically close to zero investor interest in this very bearish, terrible nightmare market scenario. From there, with markets already shaky, crypto's pushed over the edge into a brutal drawdown, horrific bear market. Holders close their eyes, hope Bitcoin doesn't lose $50,000. Ethereum, utter disappointment, back into the mid triple digits. We're talking like $500-600 here. Solana plunges down below $50, possibly even back to low double digits like $30. Well, the only attention crypto gets is from grave dancers smirking at its demise. Well, we all wonder, what the fuck kind of an industry is this anyway? Is that the best we could do? Of course, the bear market would end eventually, and we'd emerge with even more trauma from the wreckage. Great. Sometime in 2026, markets start to recover. We start the slow grind back up, and we do all this shit again. But then the 4-year cycle would be well and truly done for, and we basically just follow equity markets as a higher beta play. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? Maybe we should all go and get into robotics and AI. That's the horror scenario here, the horrific, oh my God scenario. But let me finish by stating that this is definitely the least likely outcome in my book, if it happens, okay? The world is going to be in a state of mayhem anyway. It always kind of is. But my base case scenario, again, is the first one. Doom scrolling may be morbidly addictive sometimes, but ultimately optimists have a habit of outperforming. And there really is a route towards a resurgent bull market, a very clear window that we can jump through, but we need things to line up for us. And there's the real case, which is why we outlined scenario 3, that things may not work out in our favor. And all that bad stuff may not happen, but if even half that bad shit happens, that's really bad for markets and is not priced in, a lot of that stuff, okay? So you have to approach the markets always as an optimist, but planning for if things go wrong. But let me know your thoughts. What do you think is the most likely scenario to happen in 2025? Thanks for watching.